Well, hello, Abbey Children's Church, and anybody else who is joining us for this children's worship today here from St Albans Cathedral. I think the last few months have been quite hard for a lot of people. With coronavirus, we've seen people around us get ill. We've seen families not able to visit one another and people feeling lonely and sad and maybe even worried about what's happening in the world. And I've been thinking recently how we cope with those times. So, what do we do to keep strong and to deal with those times when life is really, really difficult and strange things are happening? And then I was watching something the other day from St Saviour's Church, and they were talking about a passage in the Bible where Jesus is talking about two men, one a foolish man and one a wise man, and they both go around building their houses. And in this parable, Jesus is trying to teach people things about what to do when life is difficult. And so we're going to watch that together and then have a little think about it in just a couple of minutes' time.
So, I've finished my house. I'll admit, it's not the best house ever. It has, however, got a slide, which surely is the most important thing in a house. And it's got a very trendy rooftop garden, because I've been watching too many episodes of Grand Designs recently. So Jesus told a story about a man who lived in a town, and he built his house on the rock. And after he'd finished, he lived in it. Then one day the rain came. The rain got very heavy, and then the floods came. Started off a bit slow, then got quite heavy. The house on the rock stood firm. Then Jesus said, in that same town was another man, and he built his house not on the rock, but on the sand. And the same thing happened. He went to live in his house, and after a while, the rain came. And everything was fine at that point. The house still stood. But then, just like before, the flood came. And as the flood got heavier and heavier, the house that was built on the sand simply fell down.
Just before we watched that video, we thought for a moment about difficult times in life, times when things are really, really tough, where we might feel sad or scared. And in the story, in the parable that Jesus is telling, those times are represented by the rainstorms, the floods that come rushing down. And what Jesus is saying is that everyone is going to experience those times in life, times when the floods rush in and life is really difficult and really painful. But he's always also offering us an invitation. He's saying in those times, if you build your life on the rock, if you build your life on me, even though the storms come and even though life is really difficult, you will stand firm in my love. And so the invitation for each and every one of us is to come to Jesus even when things are really, really difficult and to build our lives on him.